We have a motion and,
Brittany and
okay. All right, any further, say your name.
or
right?
say your name. One,
There you go.
yeah, either or.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right. Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. Item number 6 on our agenda is to amend the fiscal year 2020 to 2023 Transportation Improvement Program. Mr. Franklin.
All right. I know we have some new members here. I probably should have been more explicative about the 2040 our long-range transportation plan is our long-range document. It's pretty much projects planned for the course of a 20 to 25-year period. All right. So what we do is when it comes time, we do our TIP as our short-range document from 20 to 23 over a 4-year span. We pull our MPO projects from that list and we put into and we prioritize in our short-range document. So what we have here is our short-range document approval, TIP amendment proposals. Okay. Our first project is a City of Dothan project, leisure services. It's a Section 5310 transit grant for a capital rolling stock for a bus. Total cost of the project is $66,929, $53,543 in federal, and the match on that one is $13,386. Next project is 5307 Transit for Wiregrass Transit for capital support equipment. This project is scheduled for FY 2021. Total cost is $16,452. Federal match is $14,807. The match on that one is $16,45. Next one's a 5307 Mobility Management Project. Total cost on this one is $67,500, and it has a 50-50 split at $33,750. Next one is a 5307 Local for Operating Expenses for FY 2021. Total cost is $492,000, 50-50 split on that at $246,000. 5307 is a CARES Act project, which is 100% federally funded. This is for preventative maintenance. In FY 2021, total cost is $125,000. Federal share is $125,000 and no match to be provided. Same, another 5307 for operating expenses for Wiregrass Transit. This one is another CARES Act project. It's 100% federally funded. Total cost is $1,037,170, and the federal share on that one is the same, $1,037,170, with zero local match on that one as well.
All right, thank you, Reggie. We have a motion for approval. Second? All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion? Questions, comments, concerns? All right, seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay? Okay, motion is approved. Item number 7 on our agenda is the financial constraint table. Mr. Franklin?
All right. That's this document here, the table with the green on it, with the project listings. All right. No changes to the tables at all from my previous meeting, with the exception of $8,000 coming back in from a project that has not been closed out in a prior year TIP. We finished FY 2020 with $837,221. So going into FY 2021, we have 6 projects scheduled for this year. Well, we have 6, but it's probably going to go down to 5 at our next meeting. Due to discussion from the technical meeting, with County Road 47 possibly being moved out to FY 2022. But as of right now, year to date, we finish out, we have a total of $2.3 million in projects scheduled in FY 2021. We get 1.7 coming in. We should finish out this fiscal year with $183,674. All right. Same going into 22. We have 5 projects scheduled. 1.9 million going out total. 1.7 coming in. We should finish out that fiscal year at $10,394 in available funding. 23, 3 projects. 1.7 going out, 1.7 coming in. Year to date, $28,750 in remaining funding for FY 2023. The projects you see down at the bottom of Horizon, these are projects that are outside of our transportation improvement, our short year program. These projects are also within our long range and our 2040 long range plan. So when we go to prioritize projects for the 24 through 27 tip during FY 2023, we have to shuffle these projects by fiscal years according to how much money we receive in allocated funding. Right now it's pretty stagnant because we're not operating on a transportation bill. So with the assumption that we get $1.7 million in 24 each year in 24 through 27, we'll prioritize those projects based on available funding. All right. Any questions on the financial constraint table?
All right, thank you, Reggie. No action is required on that. We'll move on to item number 8, which is to approve the new and amended performance measures and targets. Mr. Franklin.
Okay. These are the new and amended performance measures and targets that come down from the Alabama Department of Transportation. These are pretty much the state targets we are adopting today. We have 5 categories. PM1 is safety. PM2 is bridge and pavement performance measures. PM3 is federal highway system performance measures. 4 is the state of good repair, transit, and state transit safety performance measures. These metrics are used to pretty much identify how our transportation system is performing. So basically, the goal of this initiative is pretty much to meet these targets and not exceed the targets. So the only FTA transit safety at the bottom, this is a new measure that recently came in from transit. So you can see those are the actual safety performance measures that Wiregrass Transit intends to meet for this fiscal year. And to note also, PM2 is on your sheet. You show a 2-year target. I had a conversation with Al out today. That should be a 4-year target out to 2022. Percentage of payments on the interstate system should be greater than 50%. Percentage of payments on the interstate system in poor condition should be less than 5%. Everything else is correct. Any questions on our performance measures and targets for our network, transportation network?
All right. Thank you, Reggie. We need a motion to approve. All right, motion, second. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion, questions, comments? All right, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. All right, the motion is approved.
Okay.
Item,
Go ahead. I think I'm in tip.
all right, item number 9 is other business, comments, and concerns.
We'll go first.
Yeah, I would knock this out. I had handed out, or had bought a handout, some couple of drawings here we got. What we're trying to do is just look at, if you can see that kind of area drawing that shows a lot of subdivisions in and around. This is Bethlehem, J.D. Chapman, Murphy Mill Road. It's on the edge of Dale County. It goes into Dale County. It's Houston County, the city of Dothan. Just got a tremendous amount of growth. out in that area that continues to come. And we just trying to look at a possibility of some type of shared cost roundabout or something like that. That's one of the ideas that we've had to try to get ahead of what the issues are at that location so that we're not, kind of always trying to react, be proactive and look at this thing and whether we can seek something through some of the smaller A-trip funding where we can get $250,000, and it may be something that we can look at with Houston County and Dale County and see what all we can, this is just preliminary look, but I just want to bring it to everybody's attention as to what's going on out there before we get way down the road and get more and more. We've already getting complaints about it, obviously, just, we didn't find a lot of accidents, we didn't find a lot of issues out there right now, but obviously traffic volumes will be growing out there with what's going on. So just wanted to kind of bring it in now, and whether we end up with an MPO project long-term, or we figure out something to try to fund some improvements out there. That's all I had.
Cool. The roundabout at Campbellton and Taylor is being paid for with safety funding? Yeah, so that could be another option.
That's possible.
Yeah.
I will say that, y'all brought it up, that's a unique need, fortunately for us, that hasn't had. When I look at this, if y'all go with this with the MPO, us having to walk some of these things through FHWA has been scary. Campbellton, because we were able to get lucky and use force account working to work it and build it with that safety fund, it's been a little bit better than some of our others. But these things, with federal money, FHWA has been kind of tough and making them expensive. So let's talk about that a little bit if y'all want to put it in there.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I just want to, like I say this early on, I think maybe if we had Houston, Dale, and City of Dothan or something, looking at it to an A-trip, the $250,000, and then try to do some kind of shared cost altogether, maybe that's something we could look at down the road. So maybe that's a better way, because we can always use some city and possibly county forces to do it like that or something. We'll see. Thank you.
But still, hey, if y'all need us to look or get a peer review done on, when y'all start, even if y'all start to do that way, we can work that out.
Okay. That's all I have.
All right, thanks, Charles. I'm gonna be brief. Last month, we had a meeting with our new policy board members on some training. Just want to say thank y'all to those who took time of your day to come out and get a 101 breakdown of what the MPO does. For those who couldn't make it, I do have the PowerPoints. So if you would just email me, I'll get a copy out to you. Or if we need to schedule another date, preferably, just let me know. I'll get with Mayor Saliba. He pretty much spearheaded that thing. So if we need to do a second session, then we'll be more than happy. Okay? All right. Anything else? All right.
Move to item number 10. All right, item number 10 is the 2045 Long-Range Transportation Plan update.
Okay. We're getting close to the end. Does everybody have a copy of this PowerPoint here? Okay. We're getting close to the end now. Paul is going to present to us today some of the results from our travel model. And this is going to be the time where we talk about some of the visionary projects that you guys would like to see go into the long-range transportation plan. So he's going to present what he found, and if y'all see something there y'all would like to add, let's get it in there so that way we'll get in our long-range transportation plan. All right, Paul, you got the floor.
Thank you, Reginald. Can everybody hear me okay? Great. Last time I was here, we were kind of going into the employment population forecast for 2045. And since that time, we've conducted some travel demand model runs with the existing committee networks and looked at some of the traffic conditions in 2045. So today I just want to give a summary those results as well as the draft project list with a little more emphasis on the visionary projects on that question. So you can kind of go past these first couple of slides. I wanted to highlight some of the capacity projects. These are a number of resurfacing projects. A couple I wanted to put some attention to because they feed into the prioritization process is the installation of ITS devices on State Route 210, 231, and then also the adding lanes on Ross Park Circle from US 231 south of Bauman Drive, and then the project that you see there from Meadowbrook to North Cherokee, then on State Route 53. I just want to highlight the capacity project here at the additional lane on US 84 Main Street. These were already in the fiscally constrained transportation plan. Yes, sir. So this slide is the 2045 travel model results. Just to give y'all a general guideline, purple and red is not good. Those are the areas where the traffic is above the capacity of the roadway, or forecast to be above the capacity of the roadway in 2045. The purple are the worst case conditions. As you can see, most of the U.S. highways approaching the city and Ross Park Circle are forecast to operate pretty poor conditions. I don't think that's a surprise that most of the folks here in the room that y'all travel this on a regular basis and see some of the congestion on Ross Park Circle already as well as 231. You can see as population and employment grows into the future, however, the conditions are going to deteriorate quite a bit. And ultimately, the last 2040 long-range transportation plan project list, as well as this needs assessment, is what formed the visionary project list.
Does that already program in the yellow on the northeast side of the circle? I mean, that's showing yellow enough too, but I guess that programmed in that, the 6-lane programmed that project in?
Okay, then as you get closer to Ross Park Circle at Westgate, there's an additional demand. Basically, the traffic volumes go up a bit, and then you get into another purple segment, then after Westgate, they decrease.
Thank you.
That's okay. This one?
Okay. Yeah, move out a little bit. Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
I'm good?
Yeah.
Still getting used to this Zoom online stuff. So I just want to kind of highlight the prioritization process and what went into this. As I mentioned, we took the project from the 2040 long-range plan, added in some ideas that I came up with from the needs assessment. And it may look self-serve, but my project scored the highest. This is purely objective. As you look across the top columns, you have the range of criteria that we use to score these projects. Obviously, supporting regional mobility is one of the biggest priorities, as well as supporting safety and security. But I also look at the public feedback that we received, which was overwhelmingly in favor of more non-motorized travel options. The public had a very strong desire for more mixed-use development, including mixes of housing and employment and retail, and the same developments with supported pedestrian and trail networks. They also expressed desires to have more active transportation options, including paths, bicycling options, and so forth. And so there's a couple of categories like multimodal in particular that supports mixed-use development that I added to the prioritization criteria. And so compared to the 2040 long-range plan, some of these projects shifted in priority, and this is really why we're here, to kind of get feedback from y'all. That, it could be now or it could be after this meeting, but I don't want this to be just an analysis that we conducted, without input from the locals on the ground. particularly because I tried to be as objective and straightforward as I could with the prioritization criteria, but it's still ultimately me making a judgment call on what number to score at. And so the long-range document actually has, what a 7 means versus what a 10 means and so forth, but it's still me deciding what the 7 is versus the 10. And I think it's best, in all of our best interest to get feedback from others on that criteria, as well as if there's other criteria that y'all think should be considered in the prioritization process.
The first project there, Paul, is completed.
You talking about making it more than 6 lanes?
No.
That's access management sidewalk. I mean, there may be some sidewalk.
Right. That's
Saying, but the access management and the widening is all been done.
Right.
Is that what y'all need, just sidewalk?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess before I go forward, is there any questions on the prioritization process? Okay. That's all right.
Upon you on that, just one thing, if you change the Brownstown Road to AL605,
Yeah, we can do that.
now, I know this is probably brought forward from the other, but that's one thing.
Right. Just one other quick thing on the prioritization. There's that PI wait for prioritization that you see there. And so this is directly resulting from the public engagement that the feedback we received in the public engagement process. And so the average scores are on the left side there, those are actual scores from surveys that were distributed during the public engagement process. And as you can see, TSMO, which is traffic safety maintenance operations, and bicycle trail scored the highest. And so they receive greater weight in the prioritization process in comparison to traditional road capacity projects, which actually scored on the lower end down the transit. Next. And then these are additional projects. I don't believe I have any other additional projects beyond the 2040 listed here. So ultimately, the 2045 analysis shows additional congestion on 431 as well. And so we did add a project on 431 northeast of Rouse Park Circle to widen the 6 lanes as a visionary project. And then the 231, it was, I'm glad the project actually has been started and constructed in some capacity. Because what I said in the last meeting is we're getting to a point where, widen roads to 6 lanes. When you start looking at 8 lanes and so forth, there's just, you begin to get diminishing returns on the investment, essentially. And, the right-of-way is running out. The accessibility in terms of getting in and out of specific developments becomes much more challenging. There's also safety issues that could begin to be introduced, despite the fact that you're improving traffic conditions. And then just overall, with the funding situation and then the impacts of COVID that we don't really know what those impacts are on future funding. Ultimately, we were operating under the assumption that funding is going to be very limited and competitive. And so capacity projects should be very selective, and that's the approach we took. And then we wanted to really introduce more traffic signalization, ITS projects like the ones that were in the previous 2040 plan. Build on those, so put the ITS infrastructure in place, and then, go out there and have a advanced signal timing project where you improve the signals along the corridor. When you're not having right-of-way impacts, it can be done at a much lower cost than capacity projects, and it's frankly going to be the most realistic option in the corridors, the major corridors as you move into the future, because you're just running out of lanes that you can add once you get to the 6-lane cross sections. And then these are just the last few projects. The scores kind of decrease as you go down the list. And again, this is why I wanted to, we want to get feedback from y'all on the scoring process. If y'all think certain projects should be scored higher in certain categories, please reach out to Reginald. and we'll forward to me to address that. And then ultimately, this is what it looks like in the mapping, and it's a lot more straightforward to follow. So the green is basically the higher priority. Ross Circle bumped up in comparison to the last 2040 transportation plan, just based on differences in prioritization. Essentially, we want to improve all of Ross Circle that it hasn't been already, given the forecast demand and what you saw, a whole lot of purple along Ross Circle, and as well as some improvements along 84 and 605. 231 also south of the city, south of Ross Park Circle. So again, these are based on our prioritization process. There may be other issues that we weren't aware of, safety related or anything along those lines that we should consider. If you have any issues like that, you're thinking about a particular project, please reach out to Reginald and share that with us so that we can update this. This is by no means final. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I got one question for the group, and don't y'all think 231 probably need, I noticed that all of them are the same grade, but your circle projects, don't they all need to be ahead of Brandon Standard 605, even 431?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I know they're all the same, but when you put them on this piece of paper, those US routes,
I got you.
especially the circle before Brandon Standard, because somebody picks this up and everyone decides to look at it, I think the circle, if they're all the time, the circle needs to be ahead of all the others.
Would you prefer, you don't have to have a final answer, but Brandon Stanley going, priority, you think?
Brandon Standard should probably, the truth of it, Brandon Standard may come one day, but Brandon Standard is going to be so expensive that I don't know if it'll ever be.
But we could fix the intersection at Brandon and 84 West, that would be a,
That
would be a high
smaller
priority.
jobs like that,
yeah.
as long as visionary maybe.
Look at the intersection improvement project.
Yeah.
Probably would be better than the whole thing.
If there are other intersection improvements that come to mind, please share those. Like I mentioned, we're at the point where the right-of-way is becoming more and more limited, the resources likewise. Intersection improvements tend to give you significant benefits on the cost, so particularly if it's an intersection-related issue, oftentimes it is like the intersection of 84 and Ross Park Circle, for example. Whereas, adding additional lanes to Ross Park Circle may not even give you the same benefit as improving the intersection of the signalization, so it costs significantly more. Then ultimately, the next steps on this is finish the document, which all's input, get it formalized through the MPO process. Asking, if anyone has ideas for projects beyond what the model is telling us, please forward those, especially the intersection improvements. I don't know if anyone has pointed this out in the past, but travel demand models do not model intersections. It's purely a link-based kind of analysis. So the intersection, you may have an intersection along one of these roadways that's operating at a level of service F, and the model would not pick that up. So please, if you have ideas or if there's issues at the intersection levels in your respective jurisdictions, share those with Reginald, and we'll make sure to get those into the prioritization process. I suspect that once I put them in that matrix, they're going to score very high, just because of the improvement in mobility. And if they'll score even higher if you have the intersection improvements with some sidewalks. Any questions?
Just need a big pot of money. Big one, real big one. We get out just to hold some of the funds on down here, knock it on out.
Finish up Ross Park Circle.
Yeah, probably those projects aren't, but, $500 million, maybe.
Well,
But I mean, you gotta identify, I understand. I mean, I'm joking around, but it's just a matter of money.
I looked at some of the previous plan documents, and I remember some of the mapping, with 2 or 3 loops outside of Lost Star Circle, they're trying to build a mini Houston down here or something. It's great, if you had those types of resources available to build bypasses, 30-mile-wide bypasses. But we're realistically in an environment where you would use up so much of the MPO and state allocations that no one else would be able to do anything. And I don't think that's in the best interest of the region.
My visionary is funnel some of the money from the Huntsville area down south Alabama.
Amended.
I mean, that would work. But that's where the bulk of the funding goes, is away from here. We have roads too.
I hear you.
Anything else? More gas tax, what they should have done. Said that little amount, that's the killer.
I told those folks going to Panama City. Thank y'all, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Paul. If y'all have anything you would like to see, about a week, 2 weeks, what kind of time frame y'all want to look at on visionaries and projects to add? Week, 2 weeks?
Couple weeks, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if we'll have anything.
Okay. Well, I want to give you guys some time. I think last time we went through this, we had a project that went through, actually, the 84 widening down to, was a visionary project that we added. So, so if y'all have any, any projects you would like to see on the network, get those over to me. Paul, I think they just about completed the draft. This is the last step. So once we get it to the draft, I send it out to y'all for review. It'll go through a 45-day public review phase. Then once we finish that, then we can go ahead and approve, and it'll be effective. We have a 2045 long-range plan. But that's all I have from y'all today. Mr. Cowper, you got anything?
No, sir. I appreciate everybody being here. I think we're adjourned.
We're adjourned. Thank y'all.